This is the FM Gold channel of All India Radio. In the program News Analysis, now we bring you an interview with the Minister of State, Independent Charge for Youth Affairs and Sports, Colonel Rajyvardhan Singh Rathore. Interviewer is Rakesh Thapliyal, journalist.
Colonel Rathore, the whole nation is delighted with the performance of Indian team in 18th Asian Games. How you would assess their performance?
I think it's a matter of great pride for all Indians when anytime, anywhere the Indian flag goes up. And when these continental games come up, Asian Games or Commonwealth Games, in each of these games our Indian athletes have actually made the entire nation very, very proud. You will notice people of very young age going to these international competitions and winning. It happened in Commonwealth Games, happened in Asian Games. Now becoming a trend that Indians of 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds will go and win gold at the international intercontinental games. So this is a huge potential which is reflected by their performance. And you will also notice that the personal best scores are now coming at the big championships. At the big games and Asian Games, the medals have been won on personal best timings. Typically, our athletes would give the best score, the best timings in practices. And in the big tournaments, their scores and timings would come down, and then we would settle for, let's say, silver or bronze. But now it's turned around. Both these things reflect the new India. And it's kudos to Prime Minister who's created this belief in the entire nation. There will be no shortage of any resources and that we are world beaters. And this is exactly what is happening. So we are very, very proud.
Colonel Rathore, you are a former Olympic medalist and the Prime Minister has appointed you as a sports minister. Do you feel some sort of pressure or your experience as an Olympic medalist helps you in running the sports ministry?
If you call me a sports person, then I must also tell you that sportsmen excel when there is pressure. And if there is no pressure, there is no fun in competing. There is no competition if there is no pressure. But I think this is not about me. This ministry has gotten a big boost because of the Prime Minister, and I'll tell you how. For the first time in the history of India, has a Prime Minister ordered an Olympic task force of experts from the field. After 3 months, they gave their feedback and now we are working on it. For the first time, the Prime Minister has been regularly talking about Young India in nearly every Mann Ki Baat. So he believes in Young India, and he believes that this society and the culture of India can usher in the right values in our young Indians. And therefore, with that values and culture, with the urge and the energy that young Indians have, we can beat the world. So a lot of things have happened. Plus, as we speak ahead, I will tell you how specifically he had a vision for development of grassroots sports in our country through Khelo India. And again, with this vision, we have now created a specialized team of Target Olympic Podium, where elite athletes are being trained separately, are being looked after separately. We'll talk all about this.
Colonel Rathore, we have seen some of the medal winners of the Asian Games. Their names are not in the top scheme. So they are demanding or expecting that their name will be included now.
99% of the athletes had already been picked up by the expert team of tops, and they were provided all the support. We have various different schemes. All the sports federations who participate in the Olympics, their average training, whenever they go for any competition, any sort of a training camp, is all funded by the central government through Ministry of Sports through a scheme called ACTC. So it's all been spent from there. So everybody gets trained, including various people who are not in tops, have been funded and trained by the central government. 99% of amongst these people had already been identified by tops. 99% of the medalists have come who have been absolutely identified. Anybody who is not there, this is a program that keeps inducting people and removing people. It's a very tailored program.
And so we have seen in this Asian Games that 16 years old shooter Saurabh Chaudhary has won the gold medal. He is the youngest among the Indian contingent. And a 15 years old Shardul Vihan has won the silver medal. Lots of other youngsters have won the medal. Do you think that Khelo India project has started giving results?
It is the first year that Khelo India has begun. And in the first year itself, we had the 15 and 16-year-olds win at the Commonwealth Games, and now they have won at the Asian Games. Obviously, you can imagine once this Khelo India runs for about 5, 6, 10 years, what sort of tremendous potential it will throw up in the international arena. It has the ability to reach out to the grassroots schools and pick talent from there. From amongst the 3,500 athletes who participated in Khelo India School Games have been funded by the Khelo India. So they're getting 5 lakh rupees per year, and they will get it for 8 years in a row. Now imagine this happening every year. Now there's so much of interest in Khelo India that the next Khelo India, which the games that we are having, we expect about 8,000 participants in the competition. So it's a very, very significant change that has come about in the sports environment in our country.
Sir, every nation looks up to their youngsters for the medals. But we have seen in this Asian Games that on one side, Saurabh Chaudhary, a 16-year-old shooter, has won the gold medal. On the other side, a 60-year and 56-year-old pair of Parnab Devnath and Shivnath Sarkar have won gold medal in bridge. So, can we say that age is just a number in sports?
I think this is a great lesson for all of the listeners and all of us, that age is no bar. The day you decide that you want to accomplish something, you will accomplish it. I think the will is most important. And this is so beautifully demonstrated in this Asian Games. I myself started shooting when I was 28 years of age. When I first saw a shooting range, 28 normally is the time when people stop competing at the level of the Olympics. But here I was. And look at this example that you've just given. I think this is beautiful. All the listeners, wherever they are, I think they must all decide the passion in their life and commit to that passion, whatever their age may be.
Colonel Rathore, before going to the Asian Games, you have given a promise to the players that money will be no problem for the sports. You do your best and I will provide you the money, all the facilities. How does this have given the confidence to the players?
From my own personal experience and from many other sports persons like me, when we were competing a couple of years ago, the normal issues in the sports ministries used to be that they would say that there's no money. So I know that with the Prime Minister that we have, with the government that we have, there will be no dearth of money. And therefore, my effort is to create an environment for the sports persons where they do not hear negative things from sports officials. They, as it is, have a lot of challenges to overcome. And as officials who are supporting our sports persons, we need to create a positive environment for them. Of course, we have to be very careful about where we are spending the money, because it's taxpayers' money. We want it to be used very judiciously. And for that reason, we have a very professional team of officers. In fact, they are people who've been taken from the entire country. They need not be government officers. And they are in the target Olympic podium. So they are professionals. They are not only keeping a track of our sports persons, but they are also tracking the competitors as to what is the level of preparation that the competition is putting up against us. They are keeping track of the latest scientific developments. We have a relationship team between the sports authority and the athletes. These things have never been done before. So we have eased out the system. There is no bureaucracy now. There are good researchers we have who are finding about everything that is happening in the sporting environment. Our idea is that we will give the best to our sports persons and we'll be very judicious with the money. But to the sportsmen, there will never be any dearth of it.
Sir, would you like to support this idea that all the states should give equal prize money to the medal winners? Rather than one state is giving 3 crores for gold medal and another state is giving 10 lakhs or 5 lakhs.
The shelf life of a sports person is very limited. And although we may call these sports as amateur, but they are nothing short of pure professionalism. 24 hours, 365 days a year. For years and years, these young people give their blood and sweat to achieve certain level of excellence. And so therefore, this short shelf life that they have must be compensated adequately so that their life is covered, financially at least. Now, I'm happy that money is coming into all sports. I'm happy that the athletes are getting a lot of money.
Colonel Rathore, we have seen in this Asian Games that lots of girls athletes have won the medal, and not only they won the medal, but they have become the stars like Hima Das, Duti Chand, Swapna Burman. So how do you assess their performance?
I've never seen such brilliant attitude ever that our young athletes now are demonstrating, and I think I'm a fan of theirs. It's wonderful. And if this be the attitude of the young Indian, I hope this is the attitude of every young Indian girl, to have that sense of belief, to have the sense of ownership of that time and space. And this is what is displayed by likes of Hima Das and Pinky Balhara or Swapna Burman and a host of others. It's absolutely fantastic. When they're ready, they stand in, they own that arena. I think this is a great attitude.
We have seen lots of stars, they are from the rural background. So does the ministry has any plan to develop sport facilities in the rural areas?
When you use the word that does the ministry have any plan, it sort of seems as if till now there is no plan. I'd like to correct that notion. 90% of our athletes who are performing are all from rural background. And we have this system now wherein we are connecting the villages to Olympic podiums. Through the Khelo India, through various schemes that we have, every step of the way, their entire training, travel, coaches, scientific support is all paid for and covered. And we've gone one step beyond that. The Prime Minister said that let's have something where pocket allowances of these athletes is also covered. So from 2017 September, all the athletes in Target Olympic Podium, which is about 200 of them, are getting 50,000 rupees per month as pocket allowance. No questions asked how they spend that money.
How optimistic you are for the better performance in the coming Olympics?
Well, I'm absolutely positive about the way India is now changing and showing its presence on the world arena. As the Prime Minister said, that we have all the potential of being world beaters. And so we are now moving in that direction. A lot of things need to come, and so I'll take this opportunity through radio to say that sports is a state subject. The laws for the sports are to be made by state. The funding for all grassroots sports is to be done by state. The federations are supposed to be responsible for development of sport, and they're supposed to generate their own funds, but ably supported by the Government of India. So central government actually plays only a supplementary role. But I'm very happy that wherever any journalist has to ask a question, any citizen of the country has to ask a question on sports, they only ask the central government, sports ministry, on what is happening on sports. That is the sense of belief people have on the central government. Also the fact that that is the sort of work the central government is doing actually. So both in Khelo India and in Target Olympic Podium, we are covering the grassroots as well as the elite sports. We've covered the entire spectrum. We've gone beyond our mandate, and we will continue to do so, because every time the Indian flag goes up, it's the pride of the entire nation which is boosted.
Colonel Rathore, as you talked about the sports is a state subject, we have seen in the previous governments, most of the sports ministers, they have asked that sports should be brought in the concurrent list. But you have not demanded like that.
I'm bothered about the results, and we will continue to give results. My Prime Minister has complete faith in me and my team, and therefore with the fact that I'm getting that support, we will deliver. All these constitutional things are just for the knowledge of journalists and for the citizens, but nothing stops us from achieving our goals.
Thank you very much.
You were listening to an interview with the Minister of State Independent Charge for Youth Affairs and Sports, Colonel Rajyvardhan Singh Rathore. Interviewer was Rakesh Taplial, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. This program is also available on our website, news.air.nic.in. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.